All right, thank you for joining. Today we'll go over XRP USDT on the Binance chart. It has been quite some time since I made a video. Sorry about that. Try to be a little bit more persistent and consistent over the next, I would say, few weeks, few months, just from here on out, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at XRP. So as you can see here, it seems like it wants to form a bottom, right? We've been bottoming out for, I don't know, almost since the beginning of this year. We'll say beginning of February. Just nothing but downward candles, weekly candles. And you'll see here a lot of selling pressure on the top side of these candles, right? That's why you have wicks to the upside, selling pressure. But for some reason, it's just not going below $1.25. So that's just like extremely strong support zone. So with that being said, and with Bitcoin and the rest of the stock market looking pretty bullish, I would not be surprised to see XRP at the very minimum aim for last month's high, which comes in at around $1.60. So right now we have made a confirmed swing low on the weekly chart, right? So when you look at the weekly chart, it's very important because it just moves in slow motion compared to the lower time frame charts, and everything is fractal. So if you see a certain pattern on a lower time frame like the 4-hour or daily, there's a very good chance the pattern will repeat on the weekly or monthly or even quarterly time frames, but it just takes an extremely long time to play out. So right now you can see swing low has been confirmed, right? You have this low right here with a higher low on the left side and a higher low on the right side. So that is an official swing low, and we have an official swing high right here. So if we want to just grab a Fibonacci tool and see where the next biggest resistance most likely will be, probably at least 50% of that last swing high to swing low mark, which comes in at around $1.44. And if we go ahead and drop down to the daily time frame, which is definitely going to be the next very important time frame, you can see how price has reacted around that mark, right? So it held it for a little bit, broke through that level decisively, right? Very bearish close, tried to come back above, wicked above it, actually took the liquidity above the candle that broke that low, and just has not traded above it, right? So it took 3 weeks before the market decided to move down even more, right? So now we're coming right back up to that area once again. I think that's just like the smartest target. We're now having a series of higher lows on the daily time frame, so very bullish. And right here actually looks like we did a minor liquidity sweep. Yeah, minor liquidity sweep there on a daily, tested it, but candle closes have been above, which is very bullish. Went ahead, took out this local swing high and this swing high here too as well. So from here, I would actually expect to see either acceleration up to $1.44 or just a little bit of a sideways action, maybe come down, take out this internal liquidity before really moving up to target that 144. Then eventually, I think the big target is going to be $1.60, right? So $1.60 is the main target. Like I said before, higher lows on a daily time frame. Previous swing highs have been taken out. We should get an acceleration to the upside at around $1.44. We could trade sideways a little bit before accelerating up there, which, you know, is definitely feasible, taking out this local swing low before going up and hopefully targeting $1.60. That just seems like the next target, because once again, when you zoom out to the weekly time frame, we had a weekly swing low, and it just looks like the most reasonable target will be 144, then 160 afterwards. All right, let's go ahead and drop down to the 4-hour time frame. So here you can see it a lot more clear on the 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour time frame, you can see liquidity swept here, liquidity swept here again. Bulls defended that low, impulse higher, came back down just to fill in some of this inefficiency right here. Looks like it actually came down to the golden pocket. So let's go ahead and pull that and see. Yep, came right down to around the golden pocket, reacted, came down to, looks like the NAV, yep, which is the 786 and the .5. That's what I created there. Kind of like an upgraded golden pocket. Came down, tested it, swept that low, and impulsed higher. And it looks like it's just trying to go higher one more time. So if we fail this level, yes, I could see us coming down once again, grabbing some internal liquidity like I showed before eventually moving to the upside, right? Targeting 144. So that's the main goal for XRP over these next few days. And as long as these levels hold, you don't want to see it fall below $1.31, to be honest, right? $1.31 is really the line in the sand for this project right now, based on this price action. We can lose this low. Locally becomes a little bit more bearish, but maybe we can do like a 1, 2, 3 to the downside, take out this liquidity, even come and take down this liquidity too, right? So come all the way back down to 130 before moving to the upside. But you do not really want to see it hanging around this area for too long. If it does come down here, you want to see it move away very quickly. But preferably, I would like to just see it come down to 135, grab that liquidity, and impulse higher to 144, which would be from these lows here about a 7% gain, which is amazing. And then to previous month's high, you can hold it for roughly around a 20%, 19.5% gain, right? So that's definitely what I'm looking for on XRP. Very bullish right now. It's holding these levels. What I don't really like is that it is holding this level for a long time, which means, there's still a lot of room to play to the downside, fill out a lot of these wicks, maybe fill this wick here before reclaiming and just moving higher, right? But as it stands right now, the market is looking bullish, going off the higher time frame narrative, which on the weekly on XRP, the higher time frame narrative is looking more bullish than bearish. It's been defending the previous week's lows for the past 3 weeks, and it does not look like it has any intention of slowing down at the moment. We have to see how this week ends. But if we get a weekly close above last week's high, that's extra bullish. And then on any pullback next week would be great to long, expecting next week to also close green too as well. So that's really the plan for XRP. Not much else to say. Right now we just took out a high, previously high and last week's high officially. So we might get a little pullback to take out yesterday's low. That would be ideal. Or that wasn't even yesterday's low. Let's see. Yeah, it was yesterday's low, Tuesday's low. That would be ideal to, get a move higher. So let's see how this all plays out. Trade the range, very easy. Look at the high, look at the most recent strong low. You could have waited for price to come down here, take the long here, stop loss below the low. It would have came really close to stopping out, never did. And then you could have actually rode this up for a nice 5% gain. Now it's the same thing. You're at the highs. You're not really sure if what's going to happen. Nobody knows. But with that liquidity sweep, just because you wanted to trade the plan, it's a 1.2% risk, which is actually perfect. Aim for these lows here. That's what I would do, which would be a 2.2 risk reward. But the perfect rotation would be at least down to these lows here, which is a 4-to-1 risk reward, which I actually think that's not too bad, right? I'm going to keep this up here and just see how it plays out throughout the week. If we get stopped out, you get stopped out, but that's the risk reward you want to be looking for. At least a 2-to-1 in worst case scenario, right? At least a 2-to-1. And if you get stopped out, you're only losing 1% of your account, which is exactly the rules of trading, right? To last longer in this game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining. Remember to like and subscribe. And also remember to follow me on X. I haven't been posting there as much lately, but I will definitely start posting there again more often. Go ahead and pull this over here. Yeah, this was a nice short I did on Ethereum. Took it from the highs down to the lows. Took partials. And eventually price ended up coming right back up and hitting my stop loss. But that's why you take profits, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, it was a 5x short. That played out nicely. But yeah, always post pretty often, and definitely turn on your notifications, like and subscribe, because lately I've been doing a lot of shorts, and the shorts are working very well. People are liking the shorts. I could get out the information a lot quicker. Yeah, and you can see XRP actually reacted pretty nicely off of that bullish order block, right? Very nicely. So very interesting. That was the low of that day. Again, like and subscribe. Thank you for joining, and yeah, take care.